Lisa from the Stuart C. Meyer Harker Heights Public Library. Welcome to one of our many sewing workshops with your sewing machine. Today we're going to be getting our sewing machine set up. Now remember, I am using one particular type of sewing machine. Yours might be a little bit different. Make sure that you consult your owner's manual, but most of what I'm going to tell you is going to be very similar, at least to what you need. So let's go ahead and get started. We are already unpacked and ready to go. We're going to start by plugging our machine in, and you're going to think, well, everybody knew that, but this is something that's a little unusual. My machine has kind of a dual cord, so it goes to two different things at once. It goes to the foot control pedal, which is what I'm going to use to keep tell my sewing machine with it to go, and it also goes into the outlet. So first I'm going to get this plugged in. And as soon as we get this plugged in, we'll be able to get some lights on, which will be nice. Right here, I'm going to turn the light on with my little switch there, and I'm going to put my pedal. In my case, I have to do it underneath like all the way underneath my table. I'm also very short, so I have to pull it pretty close up to the front. All right, so what else are we going to need to do in order to get set up? Well, one thing we're going to need is a needle. Now, our needle goes right in this area. So what we're going to do is make sure that the foot is down, okay? Your foot is down, and then we are going to put a needle in. Now, my needle has two different sides, a flat side and a side that is rounded up at the very top. So I'm going to put the flat side to the back. I'm going to put this in the needle holder. I'm going to kind of hold it up there, put it in as far as it will go, and then I'm going to start screwing that screw, and I have a handy dandy screwdriver. And you might be thinking, well, I have a million screwdrivers at home. Well, you really need a pretty small one, and it has to have not a long handle. All right, so I basically use my finger to screw it in first, and then when I need it to get a little bit tighter, I use this, and that's exactly what we'll use to undo that. Now remember, I was mentioning this foot. This is the foot lever in the back, and this particular foot can be changed out for several other feet in this area. So if you wanted to use a different one, we could just change that out if we wanted. Now underneath here, you will see this is where we eventually are going to put the bobbin. This is a bobbin, and remember, a sewing machine is going to use two lines of thread, one that will come from the top and one that will come from the bobbin area. So the two will come together, they will interlock, and that's how we're going to keep our material together. And we see a whole lot of things that I've left out here on the side. Anything that I'm not going to use, it's a very good idea to go ahead and put right back in here, which is what we're going to do. And then we are going to thread our needle. All right, so now we have our bobbin and we have our thread that's going to go on top. We are going to thread both of them. Now before I actually do the needle, I'm going to thread the bobbin, and you're thinking, well, there's already some thread on that bobbin. There is. I went ahead and put a layer of kind of a light blue color so that you could see it, but I'm going to show you first how to thread the bobbin. Now remember, up top, you're going to see a diagram showing us exactly what we need to do. So we're going to thread the bobbin. So I'm just going to follow these directions, up, around, and then I'm going to put the thread up top. All right, now don't worry, normally you wouldn't have other thread on your bobbin, but it's okay if you do. I'm leaving it there because I wanted you to see it. Then you're going to pop this over. Now that's really important because this is the bobbin winder, and you have to pop that over. If you don't pop it over, your machine is going to think that you want to just do some regular sewing, right? Because remember, you're in control of the machine is not in control of you, right? Let's always remember that. Okay, I'm going to press my pedal. And then we're just going to put some thread on this bobbin. Now I normally could watch that all day. I actually find that pretty stress relieving. I love it. So I'm going to pop this out. And I'm going to, right here, use one of the best things, one of my favorite things on any machine. Almost every machine will have a little pair of scissors there. They're not really scissors that snip, but they're more like just a little scythe is closer to what it would be called. That is going to let us just cut some things. Here we go. Now, are you ready to see us threading this? Okay. Now, I am going to follow again this other diagram. We were using this to start with because that was showing us how to fill our bobbin, but now I'm using this one. So ready? 1, aha, 2, go around, 3, this is the tension dial. Let me make sure I got this in here. 4, right there is the presser foot lift up, the thread lift up. 5, we went down 5. 6 is hooking it. You're almost always going to need to hook it. And now we are actually going to thread the needle. And I am going to make sure that I get a really, really good cut on the end of that thread. If your thread is frayed in any way, it will be harder to use, okay? Now, you may have an automatic threader on your machine. Yay! What I'm going to do is I'm just going to thread it this way. Here we go. I'm taking it from front, going to back. Most work that way. I've actually never seen one that didn't. Front going to the back. I will lift up my presser foot, and then I will bring the thread all the way back in there. I'm not going to put the foot down because we are going to load the bobbin case. Now again, in almost every machine, you're gonna see a little diagram there. This one tells us to go flat down in, come all the way over toward the right, then come all the way back to the left, then come down in this little channel, and guess what? Another little pair of scissors for us. Now this is we're not quite finished yet. We're going to hold on to the top thread. We're going to roll, well, where am I at here? Did I not pop it good enough? There we go. I'm looking to see. There we go. I'm holding on to this one, rolling it down, rolling it back up. So if you want to do a forward stitch, you're actually rolling towards you to do a forward stitch. And because I held on to this, I was able to catch the lower thread. If you don't hold on to this, the lower thread will just fall back down, okay? So I was able to catch the lower thread. Now we have the bottom thread and the top thread. I'm going to put my cap back on. Here we go. And we are going to be ready to sew.